Meeting of the Madison County Fiscal Court to order, and I apologize for getting started a little bit late. Roger, one of our magistrates, thought the meeting was in Berea, so he drove over to Berea, and he's on the way back. And he's about 10 minutes out, and I just talked to him, and he said to go on and get the meeting started. We've got a pretty lengthy agenda today. So at this time, Kenny, we'll call the roll.
Master King.
Here.
Master Barger. Master Hughes.
Here.
Master Combs.
Here.
Judge Clark.
Here. You all have had a chance to look at the minutes of the last meeting. If there are no changes, no discussion, a motion would be in order to approve those as submitted on your screens.
So moved.
Second.
Master King.
Yes.
Master Hughes.
Yes.
Master Combs.
Yes.
Judge Clark.
Yes. We have our treasurer's report today, Glenna.
I dropped in your Dropbox 2 items today. The first one is the regular report, and our fund balance on January 31st, 2014 was $8,181,924.94. The fund balance on 2/28/2014 was $7,474,546.45. As of the end of February, the receipts for the general fund were at 83.7%. Our expenditures were at 49.6%. The road receipts were at 102.8%, and our expenditures were at 76.8%. The jail funds receipts were at 72.1%. Our expenditures are at 69.3%. Our CSEP fund receipts are at 21.8%. Our expenditures are at 20.5%. And the 911 fund, the receipts are at 68% and the expenditures are at 62.3%. Also, I dropped into your Dropbox the preliminary jail fund budget. By statute, we have to have a jail fund budget just put together and out to you all by March 31st, but we will be meeting with Doug before the first reading and adjusting, making any kind of changes that we need to predict for the next year.
This is just to give you all an idea so you can be looking over it, and then when we talk to Doug, and then we'll go over first reading, so everybody will be aware of everything that's going on in every line item with the jail budget.
Is there any questions? And these reports are public, so if the public would like any of these reports, just see the treasurer's office and we can get them for you.
Thanks, Glenna. Before we get into order of business, I'd like the court's permission to amend the agenda. We had to adopt some roads, phases 4 and 5 Indigo and phase 1 Berkeley. I'd like to remove those because of the winter and not only the weather, but Leroy's been under the weather a little bit, but he's back with us in good shape, so we're glad about that, but just hadn't had really a time to get out and look at all these and do inspections. So if it's okay with the court, I'd like to amend that item on the agenda.
So moved.
Okay, first is special time that we get each year. We get Brett Blair and his staff to come over, talk to us about the transportation, what's going on, our rural secondary program, and Brett's going to hand out copies of that for you. Yeah.
Okay, I've got given you 2 copies, 2 pieces of paper. One's information about the rural secondary road program. I'd be happy to cover any of that in detail. What I'd like to focus on the most is the second page, which has Madison County written on it. It's got roads and funds on the front page and a map on the back. And on the front page, you'll see that for the last 3 fiscal years, we've listed what you've received for spending on the RS, the rural secondary roads, which are the yellow roads on the map on the back. And for the last 2 fiscal years, fiscal year 13 and 14, then there's a blue diamond that marks what we've already previously authorized. The fiscal year 13 roads are completed, but the fiscal year 14 roads, which was a section of Kentucky 595, Kentucky 1016, Kentucky 499, another section of Kentucky 595. Those won't be completed until, well, they'll be completed by June 30th of this year, which is still fiscal year 14. What we're talking about today is the orange diamond, which is the fiscal year 15. These are the recommended RS roads our engineers drove, and they basically came up with the roads that they thought were in the worst shape. And then we meet with the judge and the road supervisor, and we come to agreement, and then this is what we bring to the fiscal court. And this is the money up there that says balance for RS projects, the 1.087 million. It has to be put on the state roads. So this is our recommendation of the state roads that you would resurface. Additionally, you have a chunk of money that's known as flex funds. It's the $259,000. This is money that you can flex its usage to either the state RS system, or you can put it on your county roads. If you put it on the county roads, it's for resurfacing or full width strip patching. If you choose to put it on a state route, then the green diamond below is what our recommendation is, and it's essentially a continuation of. There's a couple sections of Kentucky 2881, Menelaus and Cal East, and if you put it on the state system, then we've got another portion of Kentucky 2881 that we would like to put it on. What we're asking for from the fiscal court today is approval of the orange diamond recommendation and a decision, yes or no. Would you like to put your flex funds onto that green diamond portion? Yes, or would you like to keep it for your county roads? No.
Brett, real quick, because there are a couple of things that we had some discussion about. Real quick, would you mind to go down the recommendation of the RS project from the state real quick?
Here we go. And then what we'll do is we can, we'll go back and forth from the front to the back to make sure everybody's got there's a visual on the back where everything that we're recommending that's in orange has been circled in orange, and that one green item is circled in green. So starting from the top, and we will go ahead and point out that when we give a recommendation, you are essentially looking at a 1 through X list of what we think is the most important or the most needed resurfacing. So we're looking at a 1 mile section of Barnes Mill Road, starting at Kentucky 595 and ending 1 mile east of 595. So
This is from the intersection for you all there at Kirksville 595 out to the top of the winery section of the hill that we just reconstructed.
Yes.
So that'll finish that road up all the way down to 595, and then we've got 595 in here about 4 or 5 times in the next couple of years.
Yeah. And then that's what the next section is. It's a little over 2 miles. It starts at Kentucky 52 and ends at Kentucky 1295.
Okay.
Okay, and then the next part is more of Barnes Mill Road. This time we're going 2.4 miles, starting at Redwood Drive and ending at the Willis Branch Road, Goggins Lane.
This is Barnes Mill Estates for you all, the top of the reconstructed hill section of the Barnes Mill big project. So in essence, what this is doing is from 595, the front part of the mile, and then at the top of the hill section, we're bringing it all the way out to Goggins and Willis Branch.
Well, that should about complete that, shouldn't it?
Yeah, and when he announces one more, it will complete.
We will go ahead and, well, let's just go ahead and jump down. Jumping down to the next to last one, you'll see Barnes Mill Road again. You'll see a big price tag on it, but this is like 7 lanes wide. Is that what, something like 7 lanes wide? And it's currently still considered part of the Rural Secondary Road Program. We are planning to look at it and probably move it out of the RS system because there's a lot of development there. It's a very wide area. It's going to take a lot of blacktop to resurface that, but it technically falls into the RS system. And so that's why we're looking at taking care of that.
In a roundabout way, they're using $240,000 of our rural secondary money to do Willis Branch, Goggins, all the way out to the interchange in front of Richmond Center. Covers that. We're not real happy about it, but it is still rural secondary, and it does need to work, and it's a recommendation of the state. And it serves everybody. We all use it. Serves Richmond Center, the city of Richmond, the county. We've got a lot of residents that use that. So we've kind of agreed to go along on that. But I wanted to make that clear that even though you wouldn't think that's a county road, it's still a county road. So we'll get this, and then
Part of the reason why I mentioned us actually reclassifying it is this was a lengthy discussion in our office, and we essentially agree with the judge's feelings on this, but at the same time, we have to take care of it somehow. And so in the future, your RS money should not have to go to take care of something like that. And if we get it reclassified, then that'll move it to a different pot of money that you all have less control over, but we can still make sure it's taken care of that way.
it would have been a lot better to get it reclassified before we put the money down, but then we probably couldn't have got it reclassified.
Right, they typically ask that we get it resurfaced, but that we do the work on it under its current system before we reclassify it. Moving back to item number 4, coming down, then there's Kentucky 3376 Dreyfus Road, 1.2 miles, starting at US 421 and going to just a little east of Og Lane. That's lower right-hand side. Then you'll see a little orange circle there. Next is Kentucky 2881 Menelaus Road, starting at Kentucky 1983 and going to the I-75 bridge. And that is, I think that's the lower section of the, I've got Kentucky 2881 pointing to, I'm not sure if that's the lower or the
It
upper.
runs into the bridge out at John Ballard.
Okay.
That's where it is.
Next is a section of Kentucky 2881 that's known as Cal East Road, 1.5 miles, starting at Kentucky 2872 Peyton Town Road and ending at Kentucky 52.
And this is down at the end of Duncan, and everybody knows Peyton Town is. And all these roads really, they need attention and they need to work. We all agree on it.
On this road, where it comes out on 52, we have a bad water problem with probably about, I guess, 1,000 feet from 52 back on Cal East. It's bad swag, no way for the water to run out. Can we address that before we surface this?
Not with this money, Greg, and that's a situation we've been looking at for about 20 years. It's the way the land lies, there's a huge bottom on one side and then the fields on the other. The guy lives right in the swag. There's really, without extensive work, there's no place to take the water. Only place to take the water is put a big drop box in on the south side of the road and then pipe it all the way down through the field of the creek. We have worked with the state. Leroy's been involved, I've been involved, and even offered to do the work if indeed the state, but because it is a state highway, would buy the materials, and thought we had it worked out at one time, but then the money got a little tight and the project came in a lot more than anticipated. So really the state just hadn't had the money. But for a project like that, it's got to be discretionary, some extra money. We can't use rural secondary money for that.
Well, I mean, I know we can't use this, but it's
It's a
something we
problem.
need to address because every time it rains, water stands in the road about a foot deep, and I mean, people don't know what the hydroplane off of it. I mean, it's ever since I've been in office, it's
Take a
been,
48-inch pipe packet, wouldn't
it wouldn't take
It wouldn't
much.
Which
take
road
that
is it
long.
on?
Cal East, As soon as you turn
Cal
off
East.
52.
Randy, would you just write that down? We could, okay, good. We'll go talk with, I'm assuming you talked with Matt about it? We'll go.
Yeah, this has been, we worked on this for years. I don't think,
Worked on it last time. You gotta get a right of way through the property owner to get rid of water.
Okay,
I think that's what our problem is.
okay. Well, we'll at least do a follow-up and see if it's gone anywhere and let you know, Judge.
Okay.
The last item is a guardrail installation on Jacks Creek Road. And guardrail is just set segments. This is a .3 mile segment that has been identified. It's kind of a different process within the cabinet that finds places where guardrails needed based upon accidents and the geometry and the lay of the land. And this has actually been on the list for several years, but we've had more pressing concerns of resurfacing, and you actually had some funds available. And so we decided to, since it's on an RS route, to go ahead and try to take care of it now. And it's up at the top left. It's a little orange circle.
okay, and then Brett, getting to the flex funding, of course, you know, when they went from the 20% to the 15%, it cut us back a little bit on that.
That's
And
right.
typically, until the last couple of years, we haven't, we've done the state, but because of all the work we're doing right now, Menless and Cal East, I think I can speak for the court, we'd rather continue to use that in flex funding, give the county the opportunity, and then we can look at that and come back with it. But we just hate to spend our whole allocation on just 2 roads, and most of it's going on Barnes Mill anyway. So if it pleases the court, I'd like to ask your permission to hold back the $184,000 in flex funding for the discretion of county.
So moved.
And let's see. Judge, you had asked me to mention some additional resurfacing
Yeah, and
taking place in different parts of the county.
you got copies, I've got copies.
Okay, great.
We going into another subject? Because I got a motion and second. We need to, we're done and ready to call.
Yeah.
Master King?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Clark?
Yes.
All right.
Okay, and I'd ask, but these are some extra roads that they're doing that doesn't come out of our rural secondary, and I asked Brett to just go over those with you a little bit, because there are things that really need done, and the state's going to go on and provide the funding to do them.
That's right. And these will be roads that are not the yellow roads. They're the other roads within the county. But we have 4 roads in Madison County that are part of the statewide resurfacing program. One is John Ballard Road, and Judge, I'll ask you to help me in the location of it. I've got our chicken scratch here. Apparently, it starts at Spring Hill Lane and goes to Kentucky 2881. It's about 3/4 of a mile, and I guess the official designation is Kentucky 2877, but they've got a note here that it was John Ballard Road.
It's the back part of where it runs in over at Welchwood, goes across, and we've rerouted that road around to get the extension on the airport runway. So this is the back side of that, and it needs it.
Okay, and then the second road is US 25 Eastern Bypass, starting at Commercial Drive and going to just north, well, about a 1/10 of a mile north of Kentucky 52. It's about a 3/4 mile section as well.
And this is like from the entrance of Southern Hills there to resurface the part of the bypass there. It's getting in pretty bad shape.
Then next is Kentucky 2328, known as River Hill Road. Starts at US 25 and goes to the Fayette County line. It's 1.6 miles.
The hill. Boone Straits Hill.
And then the final section is Kentucky 3087, known as Old Lexington Road. Starts at Northgate Drive and ends at US 25X. It's just a quarter mile.
These are things that, Brett, you and all y'all at District 7, we appreciate doing for us because they did need the work done.
Judge, I'm going to ask you to sign for me. Sign and date. Check no on the request fund box.
It's 25th. There you are, sir. Do y'all have any more questions for Brett? We've got Larry Tincher here, and Randy's here, and Shane's here. We've got, I think, between them, they could answer any questions you might have about any road in Madison County.
Well, I'm just glad to see 1016 still on there. We spent a fortune this winter. haven't
Larry, we tried to get it in the
I
fall.
know,
but
I know, it just
couldn't do
run a
it.
little late in the year, but boy, it's been a nightmare.
What about our intersection there at the bypass in 25 in front of Kroger's? You know what, you got a timing on finishing that?
They're doing that. It's relining the stripe and stuff, you know, where the turn lane comes out. Randy, we talked about it the other day. There's funds appropriated for that, to get that straightened out, because you kind of run over into another lane.
Yeah.
But-
I just wonder what the time,
Well, it's Randy, it's
By
June
June 15th.
15th.
Says Rob,
Oh, I didn't even, Roger, you didn't want to sit with them?
Back row. He didn't act like he knew us today, I guess.
I didn't see you back there, I'm sorry.
Yeah, would they be the ones on Hayes Fork Bridge? I know we got the funding for it, but
It's set up for construction 15, Greg, and we've been trying. Randy, we're talking about that Hayes Fork Bridge that's been out for a couple of years. You want to look that up for Greg? I think they've got construction in 15 on that. That's federal money, so it really, 2015.
so that's when y'all start construction on it? Okay.
Everything else will be done on it, but the reason we couldn't kind of expedite was it was federal funded.
Yeah, okay.
Since we got all y'all here on the, I'm gonna bring up one little thing, it's nothing to do with Blacktop. Kentucky 1016 and 421. Out towards Drowning Creek, I believe it is, y'all got some flashing lights there that run off of no electric, I guess it's a battery or solar. We need that at there. I mean, there's more wrecks right there, and the judge can speak for this, and I'm sure Mike Coyle, the sheriff, can. We have more wrecks there than any place in Madison County. But it needs to be addressed. Now, Paul, before he left, he come up and put some signs up, stop ahead, but that hadn't done anything. It's helped, yeah, I agree, it's helped. But out at Drowning Creek, you got flashing lights out there that's solar, and they work real good out there. But if we could get y'all maybe to look at that, it really would help. The judge have asked for me there. It's a bad place, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Can I do one more since they all
Yeah,
here?
when we get them, go on and drill them.
52, coming over the hill at Silver Creek to the bridge, there's been several. About every time it rains, there's wrecks on it. And I noticed on 1295, there's a lot of the curves got that grip pad in them to keep people, have better traction. And it's a road I travel every day. And there's many, I'm sure the insurance company would probably love to have something done to that, because I know there's all kinds of claims. There's been vehicles flipped, people, I know of a couple that's got killed there in it, coming over that curve, and it's dangerous. If you could maybe look at that in the future. They put up some flag reflectors around it, but that don't do much good. It'd be exactly 6.5 miles out from the bypass on 52 Lancaster Road. As soon as you go around that winding curve, before you hit the bridge.
6.5.
Yeah, 6.5 miles.
Well, that's scheduled for reconstruction's underway right now on that anyway.
I don't know, it's
up to Wallace Mill.
Talking about is in that project, I'm not sure, that's not my job.
Looks like that's outside the limits of it.
Probably is back this way, I'd say.
If it, I mean, if it is,
I'll check.
it does need resurfacing, but I'd like to see us maybe get some of that grit to put on it, because give people trucks.
That grit is real expensive, Greg. It's hard to get.
Well, I mean, alive, I mean, like I say, there's been a couple killed there, and,
But-
you know,
James and the district have really worked hard. We had several places that were really worse than that, and they've been able to get, but they can just get a little bit each year. So we'll.
just something to look at in the future, I mean, if we
Don't
can.
look at it.
That's all I have.
Okay. Thank you all for coming in. I know you're all busy. Brett?
Well, we got a local boy with us who wants us to stay, so we're gonna stay.
Oh, okay. Good deal.
You got another one of my job.
James here.
You got number 5 down here. I'm interested.
Okay, next, one of our favorite people in the whole world, somebody that does nothing but dedicate her time and energy to all the good things in Madison County, and that's Phyllis Adams, and she's here to talk a little bit about Children's Champions, which we had a great Children's Champions this year.
Yes, thank you all so very much. This is our month that we do our publicity on having adults to do everything that they can to encourage children and to be successful in life. One of the best things that all of us can do is just be good models for them. But there are a number of activities that were planned during the month of March, and I've given copies of that to the fiscal court. One of the highlights of the month of March is our billboard contest, and you should notice those around the county. We have 3 of them up. Our winner was Raylan Miller from Daniel Boone. Don't monkey around, be a children's champion, and the insert is provided to all the fiscal court as well. One of the new aspects that we added this year is our video contest to include middle school students, and Zach Ray will tell you about that and introduce the students.
Hello. As Phyllis said, when we were planning our Be a Children's Champion activities for this year, Phyllis had encouraged some of the Youth Service Center folks from the middle schools to come up with an activity for middle schoolers, because we always have done the billboard contest with elementary school students, and I can't take credit for the idea, but actually Kim Quinlan, who's the Youth Service Center director at both Clark Moores and B. Michael Cottle Middle School, came up with the idea of doing a video contest, and it being in the form of like a PSA announcement. Just revolving around children's champions, activities, bullying prevention, anything that was positive in the life of children. And so we, the Youth Service Center folks, we got together and came up with kind of setting some parameters and ideas for the video contest, and we got the information out to all the middle school students. This was also, Berea community was also included. And there was, I think, about 15 video submissions. The kids did a great job, but we're fortunate to have with us this morning the winners of the video contest, and they are 7th graders at Foley Middle School. It's Kyla Lloyd and Kaylee Gibson, and I'll let them step up and just take a few seconds to explain kind of why they chose what they did, and then we'll take a look at the video.
We decided to make this video about bullying because we were both bullied at a moment in our life, and we wanted to show kids that words cut deeper than just the skin, and that a compliment can make somebody's day, or a rude remark can really decide whether they want to live or they want to, take their life. So we just wanted to get that message out there that there's people in the world that want to help you, and then there's other people that just want to hurt you. I guess we're going to share the video now.
Instead of just thinking, let's go out talking, talk about you. Stop this dark feeling, storm clouds are clearing, all we can see is blue. Don't change, don't stray from the tracks that you lay. Stop bullying, don't just watch. Don't just watch. So this video shows that whenever you see people getting bullied, or you see, if you're a witness, then you should help them up if they're down, but you shouldn't just watch.
Thank you, girl.
The top 5 videos will be shown on the education channel, and these are all used as PSAs throughout the year. And there's also some on drug prevention, alcohol prevention. And this, of course, is supported very strongly by the fiscal court for us to do this all year. And at this time, I would like to present an appreciation to the Madison County Fiscal Court for supporting Children's Champions of Madison County 2014.
We appreciate, too, for having such youth to get inactive and, and work and try to make a difference in our communities. Thank y'all for your hard work.
Thank you all very much.
Thanks, Phyllis. Thank you all for coming in. We appreciate it. Okay, next on the agenda is our acclaimed golf pro, Clay Hamrick. And as soon as Chris gets cleaned up, Clay's going to presentation on a new lease on our golf carts.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I have spoken and met with each one of the magistrates concerning the proposed lease agreement from our golf car partner, Easy Go Golf Cars. And Easy Go has presented us with a lease schedule for the 2014 through 2016 leasing program. And one of the reasons that we are looking for every 3 years, we have a 4-year lease, and Easy Go offers to come in and buy us out in the beginning of the 4th year. It is that time of year for that. So one of the things I've looked for as far as our lease obligations, that is our second largest obligation in our golf course budget. So one of the things we always try to do is we always try to look a way to save cost. So Easy Go has proposed a lease for us in the 14 and 15 year. That would reduce our payments by $350 per month, or $2,100 per year. And additional savings for the 14 and 15 budget. The total savings will come to an $8,850 savings due to they will absorb our July payment for the next budget cycle, which will begin in July. And the golf carts will be fully warranted over a 3-year period, which is something I really wanted to accomplish, because the golf cars can be expensive to fix, other than just collateral damage that we cause on our own or our customers cause. Easy Go will take full responsibility for the maintenance and the repair of our golf cars for the next 3 years. Now, each one of you should have a copy of the lease, and I believe in your Dropbox. One of the things that is very important to us here at the golf course is we look for budget neutrality when we have these extensive costs. We have our total lease obligations for 14 and 15 with our golf cars and our equipment will be about $88,000, $87,880. Our total lease obligation for this year was $78,500. It's a variance of $9,300 for the coming budget year. With the obligations that we have, we look for, when we have an increase in cost, we look for a decrease in cost in other areas. As we talked about before with our new equipment, we have certain pieces of equipment that we will now use on our maintenance side that we spoke about in January, where we will actually go to riding greens mowing, and we will not walk mow our greens anymore. Well, with the 2 riding mowers we have, we can we have taken the opportunity to decrease payroll and to offset the cost from the payroll. Now, our payroll cost, as we said before, we're about 42% of our total budget. That's the largest obligation that any golf course, or for that matter, most businesses have. And so we looked at how we could reduce payroll. So our estimated payroll savings is about $8,000 in the coming year. So the net new cost with the decrease in the cart lease of $2,100 for 15-16, but for 14-15, $8,850, will only have a net cost on the new leasing program for 14 and 15 of expected $1,300. So I'm very proud of the idea that we can increase our operational efficiency. We can get new equipment that best serves our customers, and we can keep our budget neutral. So that's one of the things that Judge Clark and I talked about, is trying to get to budget neutrality. Where we increase costs, we look for savings on the other side. So I'm asking permission for the for this lease to be accepted, and if you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them.
Any questions?
We went thorough over the lease agreement. We got to sit with Clay on it, and I like the part that where he's changing from where it's more expensive to take away from the other areas, and I think he done a good job with the budget, so I'm for it. I'll make a motion.
I don't have a problem with it.
Seconding it?
Yeah, I'll second.
Pastor King?
Yes.
Pastor Barger?
Yes.
Pastor Hughes?
Yes.
Pastor Combs?
Yes.
Judge Clark?
Yes. Clay, I can't tell everybody what kind of job he does. He watches pennies out there, balances it out, you know, and we keep updated the best equipment yearly. We always have, and things are good. Continuing to make small capital project investments in the golf course, and it just gets better and better, as you'll hear anybody that goes out there and plays it. But we appreciate the fine job you do.
Thank you
for
so
coming
much.
in. Yes. Next on the agenda is EMS board appointments, and I think Jimmy has called you all, and as we always have them come in on new ones, all three of these are being reappointed, so you have met all of them, and I guess I can do this, well, we'll do it one at a time, just for the minutes of the meeting, Kenny.
Okay.
The first one I'd like to reappoint is Dr. Glenn Burkett, and his appointment will expire April 1st, 2016.
So moved.
Second.
Pastor King?
Yes.
Pastor Barger?
Yes.
Pastor Hughes?
Yes.
Pastor Combs?
Yes.
Judge Clark?
Yes. Also, W.O. Bradley, who is chairman and stays with it, does an outstanding job, and I'd like to reappoint him to April 1st, 2016.
Second.
Pastor King?
Yes.
Pastor Barger?
Yes.
Pastor Hughes?
Yes.
Pastor Combs?
Yes.
Judge Clark?
Yes. And Randy Rigsby. And want to brag on Randy. He's been fighting some tough times, but doing a whole lot better and staying involved. I mean, he hadn't let it get him down, and he stayed involved with the EMS. So I'd like to reappoint Randy to the EMS expiring April 1st, 2016.
So moved. Second.
Pastor King?
Yes.
Pastor Barger?
Yes.
Pastor Hughes?
Yes.
Pastor Combs?
Yes.
Judge Clark?
Yes. We're on this road right away, and Shane's been involved in this a lot. And what I'm asking today is the court's permission to authorize me to enter into the right-of-way easements. We had two that we paid for, and the rest of them were given to us. I can go over each one if you'd like. The road, the reconstruction part of the road is complete. We've got one little section we're going to try to move a water line and get some sight distance for school buses down, but 99% of the construction's complete. It's been rocked. Leroy and I have been out there, and there's some places that are going to have to be dug up before the blacktop goes down, but blacktop, as soon as it dries up and we get the road, the soft places fixed, the blacktop will go down, and the road will be finished. But I need the court's permission to sign these right-of-way easements, and also to issue 2 checks in the amount of $4,000 apiece, and those were for .55 acres, which was appraised value of the land out there that's sold with the subdivision going in that the bank now has. So that's about it. I'll be glad to answer any questions you might have. The McCords worked with us, the bank worked with us. You know, I just can't say enough about everybody that worked with us to get this road fixed.
On the soft spots, is that something the contractor done, or, I mean?
It's just where we had so much rain, and they've still got to put rock down. They didn't put the final rock down, so had probably some bigger trucks or something go through, Greg. It isn't too bad.
Has there been any ditching done the last couple of months up there?
No, that'll be finalized. That right before the blacktop goes down, Roger.
There's a lot of places that's got to be ditched, or we'll have the same problem we had before.
We just ran out of time on it.
Okay.
Just the weather got bad and they had to pull off. But no, all that'll be done before the blacktop goes down, the ditching and the rock and the digging out.
So move.
Second. Master King?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Clark?
Yes. Next is Detention Center, HVAC, and this is something we've talked about for ever and ever. We got 2 bids in. We advertised this. We got 2 bids in, and Doug's made it through most of the winter without any heat in a portion of the jail. TECO, the mechanical contractor out of Lexington, got the low bid, and we've been in contact with him 4 times, and he assures me that he'll be over the next day with a copy of his insurance and a contract, and we have yet to see him, and the bid was received December 13th of 2013. So we've kind of waited, and of course the winter was bad, and the last time I talked to him, they had thousands of busted pipes they were trying to work on, but it doesn't look like that he's interested in the job. So what I'd like to ask the court is, would you all like to take the second bid?
We were asking how many bids do we have?
We had 2 bids is all we had.
How much difference was there? About 30,000.
Yeah.
Big difference, wasn't there?
Big difference, and I'm not speaking for TECO, but I don't think they looked at exactly what the advertisement read, and I don't think he can do the job for what he bids, probably why he hasn't been back over. But the second bid was from CKSM Mechanical, and that was for $111,389. We can, and this, Doug, this is pretty close to what we were figuring in on it anyway, around 125. So we can do that, or we can go through the whole advertisement process again, rebidding, and Doug can continue to freeze and then burn up when, by the time, and it's a pretty good job to change that unit. It's been chilly, and then, of course, the heat's right around the corner. So I am at your discretion. What y'all would like to do is take the second bid and let CKSM go on and get on the job.
Well, I think so. Contract hadn't been entered with the first bidder.
No, we've never seen him. Talked to him 4 times, Mark, and it's documented.
Being $30,000, I think it'd be best to rebid it.
Well, I think, Greg, that's the reason that we haven't seen him, is sounds to me like he was 40,000 less than, but now it's whatever y'all want to do. I'm thinking about Doug. I mean, he's got to go.
I appreciate what you're gonna do, but we kind of put a little rush on it. Been a couple of years now.
That's comments. That's all we got, 2 bids when we advertised it last time. Roger, what do you think?
Have we done business with CKSM before? I mean, you familiar with who they
Yes.
are?
I think they're the ones that kept it running as long as it has.
I thought I'd seen that in there before. I understand Greg's side of it, but he's been without heat and air for quite a while, and I mean, I know that's $30,000, but we don't know what this other guy's bid would actually be if he tried to bid it again or whatever, if he wanted to, you know. But I say go ahead and fix it.
Bill Ray?
I don't think we had much choice. I mean, it's got to be done.
We don't have much choice. I agree with Greg. And I don't know, may not get no bids next time.
Might be
Okay.
higher than both of them.
Then a motion be in order to go on and disregard the first bid, who we've been able to contact, able to talk to.
If we hadn't entered into an actual contractual relationship with them and the bid had not been officially awarded, then we would have to go to the next
Okay,
this
and
bid.
need a motion then to do not accept the first bid and accept the second bid from CKSM Incorporated Mechanical, $111,389.
So move.
Second.
Master King,
No.
Master Barger,
Yes.
Master Hughes.
Yes.
Master Combs.
Yes.
Judge Clark.
Yes. Okay. Okay, next is custodial, and I have a recommendation from the interview team here. And this job was advertised, and several were interviewed, and upon the recommendation of the interview team, they've recommended to hire Stella Jones. She's from Waco, Kentucky.
I'll make that motion.
Master King,
Yes.
Master Barger,
Yes.
Master Hughes.
Yes.
Master Combs.
Yes.
Judge Clark.
Yes. Judge's report, I just have one thing, and that is 17th Annual Empty Bowls Project at First Baptist Church. This is a great project. Participation is huge. I've been fortunate. I remember when we started at St. Mark's Church and got to serve soup in bowls, and now it's moved to First Baptist. It got so big. But that'll be Friday, April the 11th. And they have two sessions, one 11 to 1 and another one at 4:30 to 6:30 for dinner. So I just wanted to make that announcement and invite everybody to come out to First Baptist for the Empty Bowls Project. And that's all I have in the judge's report. I would open it up, comments from department heads. Anybody? Dwayne?
A copy of the first quarter report for 2014 with a comparison of where we were in 2013. Basically, we're down about almost 30%. We're down about 28% in total construction in the county. This seems to be resounding in the city of Richmond and the city of Berea as well. But as far as the total estimated construction cost was down about 28%. In 13, for the first quarter, we had issued permits for a little over $4 million in construction. And in 14, we did $2.9 million. We were down about 37% in the total number of permits issued for the first quarter. Building permits, first quarter of 13, we issued 75, and in 14, we issued 47. So it's been extremely slow the first quarter. Second page breaks it down with electrical permits being at the top of the sheet. We're down from 90 electrical permits the first quarter of 13 to 76 in 14, and yet mechanical permits were up 2 or 3. It wasn't up much, but and most of those came through equipment replacements. People's heat going out, and they got permits to change that equipment out. But that's a first quarter report with a comparison to last year, so you can see kind of what the trend and what the pattern is.
Is it primarily weather related? Because I kind of thought that things were beginning to kind of churn a little bit.
Well, I at first thought it would be weather related, but typically when the weather even begins to think about breaking, guys are coming in pulling permits, so they're ready to get rolling. I've talked to some of the bankers and different ones, and they're pretty slow as far as applications for construction loans. So I don't think it's weather related anymore. Typically, we'll be real busy in October and the first part of November with builders trying to get footings and foundations up out of the ground to have something to work on through the winter months. We didn't have that at all. And then generally about in February, we begin to get that influx again of new permits and new interest in projects, and that's just not seeing any change at all in that, so. Any other questions?
Not, thanks, Dwayne. The other department, Carl?
Just thought I'd give you guys an update on where we're at on a couple different things. We have got our move completed. We now have our staff split between 3 locations in 2 different cities, so we've got some growing pains we're going through, but we're getting through it. The rocket motor separation activity began yesterday at the depot, so we've got the EOC in Berea, which is the only one that's operational now, staffed with operations, has analysts, public information, and communications, so we'll be doing that, mimicking the hours of the depot while they're doing the rocket motor separation of those 44 rockets. Thursday, we have a big meeting face-to-face with all the partners, Murphy Graves Trimble, Codell, Mission Critical Partners from FEMA, as well as a state rep, to go over all of our bids on the EOC that we opened a couple weeks ago, to figure out who's the best bid. Not necessarily, it may not be the lowest bid, it will be the best bid, and try to determine who the winners are so we can bring it back to fiscal court and award all of them with the exception of the floor bids. Floor bids, we had something similar to the HVAC bid at the detention center. Guy couldn't do the job for what he bid. Left off 50 grand on one and 40 grand on another one. So no wonder he was so low. So we got to rebid that. I'm waiting for the new verbiage to bid just that package, but we'll rebid the flooring. So, and that's really all I have, unless you guys have some questions for us.
What's the only bid you had on that one?
On the flooring?
Yeah.
No, we had some others, but it was 30 or 40 grand higher the next guy, and then the next guy after that was another 30 or 40. So, not really sure what the flooring will cost, to be honest with you, Larry.
The reason we're kind of, the flooring's going to be the last thing to go down, so we've got to, it's
time.
not like Doug's people
Yeah.
were freezing. The flooring will be the last, so we felt like we
It's
had
going to warm
time.
up, Doug, don't worry. Just pull them in a little closer. You got enough over there to keep heat.
So that's the reason, and it was a significant amount.
Yeah. So,
Any questions for Carl? They've done an outstanding job moving. You all can't imagine what it was to move to 3 locations.
it's been a challenge.
And never lost operations.
No, never lost operations, that's correct. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Carl.
Any other department heads? Anything? If not, comments from magistrates, Greg?
I'm just glad to see all that blacktop I'm going to get in my district, so appreciate that.
Yeah, it looks like you've done pretty good, Greg.
Good this year, didn't I? You got it all last year, so. But it's good to be here and appreciate all the citizens to get to serve and work for and try to do a good job, so that's all.
Thanks. Roger?
I was glad to be in Berea till I saw that nobody else was going to show up.
I held off as long as we could. I had those state people here.
Have we ever got a contract on our rescue squad building?
No, and let me explain that, is they just contacted me this weekend, and Tim has another building over on South Estill, you know, there by the concrete plant right across from Tri-County, that's got 3 bays. It's larger, it's more insulated. They feel like the electric bill will be lower. It gives them more room, and he's willing to petition them off a bigger office. They've got more storage for the exact same amount. So, same rent, and they're getting twice as much space. It's 800 square feet more space.
I just think we need to see a contract because he had some things in the other contract, I mean, not contract, what you told me that he wanted that I don't agree with. So
Well,
I think we need to
that's why
decide whether we want to.
That's why it's in the trash can. But we're drawing up a simple one. And we're trying to work on it. I'm going to get the information to Mark. But this came up, and I thought, well, if I know everybody's okay with it, gives them a lot more room for the same
I
money.
just don't think it's good for our court to be renting a building that we don't have any kind of contract on.
Okay.
Where'd you say they're going to move to?
South Estill. You know where Tri-County is?
Across the street.
So just bring you up to date, but we'll have that, Roger.
Okay.
Hopefully, maybe we can get it by the next meeting
Okay.
for your approval.
That's all I
Okay.
had, Judge.
Okay, any other department heads? Bill Ray? Sorry.
We had, at our last intergovernmental meeting, we had quite a bit of talk about the social host ordinance, and the attorneys were going to get together and try to get some kind of common language. I just wanted to follow up and keep that at the forefront.
Still a work in progress. I've actually tried to catch counsel for the city of Berea this morning.
Yeah.
And was not able to do so, but it's still in works.
Still working on it. Anything else? Larry?
Well, I'm glad to see Leroy's back. Leroy, we missed you. I hope you're feeling good. You look like you are, so we're glad to have you back. And then the other thing I would say is, I know Mike's daughter-in-law, she's got some good news, and I'm glad of that, Mike. I know y'all been through a lot, so I'm glad she's doing better. And we had a drug prevention in Berea the other night, and there was probably about 45, 50 people there, but it was very informative. Had several people that had been on drugs and stuff there to speak, and I tell you, it's pretty moving. I wish Billy Ray had been there, but, you know, I know we all got other schedules and stuff, but let me say this about our coroner, Jimmy Cornelison. He spoke for probably 20 minutes, maybe 30. I'm gonna tell you, if you'd have been there, you'd really been proud of him, of what he said, how he said it, and how he brought it across. So, you know, I just want to thank Jimmy for doing what he done, and that just shows the caliber of people that we have working for us. I mean, it's outstanding what he done, and the other speakers were good too, but I mean, Jimmy being the coroner, I just have to praise him for it. He done a real good job. And other than that, Judge, I found my way back from Louisville home. I had to call you to find out where I was going, but I did. 30 minutes late, but I got there. But other than that, I'm just glad to be here, Judge.
Glad you're here. Okay, anybody in the audience like to approach the court? If not, it looks like next court meeting will be April the 8th, Tuesday, April 8th, 2014. And Carl and I, once Mission Critical and FEMA go over these, it might be in our best interest to call a special call meeting to go over those and award those. We'll wait and see how long it takes them to come up with finalizing them. But the sooner the better on this project. But right now, we'll just keep it at April 8th. And motion to pay the claims and approve the transfers.
Oh, move.
Second.
Master King?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Clark?
Yes. I do want to say that we are not live on TV today because the murder trial upstairs, and that really overrides fiscal court, but it is taped, and it'll be played on a regular schedule as all the meetings are. And with that, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.